Hello, folks. This is Steve AB4L. The first tab on my browser is /.org, news for nerds, but we're not going there today. As exciting as the news slugs are. Now, nothing in this episode is a promotion nor is it a recommendation, but I saw something else that I thought was interesting. Hackaday. Ever hear of it? It's for people who like to experiment with different projects. And they also have, like whatever, Jenny's Daily Drivers, Raspberry Pi Desktop, You've Got Mail, Straining the Limits of Machine and Man, Tear Apart Your House for $200 with this rotary subwoofer. That's a project. This one made it to /dot. Sarabyte, which is a company apparently, 1 terabyte of data, computer data per square centimeter, using something to do with ceramics and lasers but the one I want is next. Will RadioShack return? Now, why would I be interested? Aside from the fact that I'm old. Let me remind you that amongst the several thousand videos that I've posted on this YouTube channel, I have a playlist called Reminiscing. And if you go to the full listing of the playlist, what is the first episode that I created for the playlist Reminiscing? The Demise of RadioShack. And I published that 8 years ago. So I'm not off base, right? Why? What did I talk about? Well, RadioShack became an international chain of stores. I can tell you where the old RadioShack stores are along 64. I can tell you where it is in Siler City. I think they still have the logo out front of the stores, but some of them actually are cell phone sellers and stuff like that. I believe there was one up in Randleman. But I, as a teenager, knew ham radio operator, that kind of stuff, and having a new car at age 16, going into Boston for his ham radio license exam, visited the original RadioShack store on Commonwealth Avenue. I didn't look. Started its Tandy Corporation. RadioShack was started in 1921 by two brothers, also known, who were in the field of amateur radio, also known as ham radio. I'm reading Wikipedia. The brothers opened a one-store retail and mail order operation at the heart of downtown Boston at 46 Brattle Street. But that's 1921. So what I'm going to do, in 1959, the store moved its headquarters. Ah, there it is. In 1959, the store moved its headquarters to 730 Commonwealth Avenue in Boston, across from Boston University's Marshall Chapel, with ambitious plans for further expansion. That's the store I used to go to once in a great while when I was in Boston. This is new to me. January 22nd, 2020, Boston University purchased 730 Commonwealth Avenue. Is it going to open? Is it going to answer? Yep, they were downstairs. Correct. That's the building. Okay. So Hackaday has this article, I think they excerpted from somewhere else, discussing will RadioShack return? We suspect that if you want to write a blockbuster movie or novel, the wrong approach is to go to a studio or publish and say, maybe that's what the El Salvador-based Unicommer group had in mind when they bought one of our favorite brands. Like, you can get stuff at Walmart that says RCA. I once applied for a job at RCA, Radio Corporation of America, military radio equipment assembly plant in Camden, New Jersey. That company does not exist. I don't mean that building. Radio Corporation of America, the way it was, doesn't exist. But the brand name, RCA, is used by somebody who bought that. You follow? So somebody bought the brand, I'm interpreting, RadioShack. El Salvador-based Unicommer group had in mind when they bought one of our favorite brands, RadioShack. They're reportedly planning a major comeback for the beleaguered brand in online and in the physical world. And then I took the link to here. This is apparently the article. Now we'll be getting to what I was interested in. So it says here, that article was commenting on this article. RadioShack has been acquired by El Salvador-based Unicommer Group with the plan to overhaul its website and add a new programs division by its heritage in technological innovation for franchised operators. I've never heard of Unicommer before right now. Unicommer has become one of the largest independent RadioShack franchise owners in the world. That means there must be others. Acquiring the El Salvador franchise in 1998 and the rights to the RadioShack brands, like I'm guessing Tandy and some others, intellectual property. Oh, you see, I strayed off to talk about Radio Corporation of America, RCA. They wouldn't call it Radio Corporation of America today, but that's what the RCA stands for. It's IHOP. You don't say International House of Pancakes, even though that's the corporate name. And franchise agreements for all of Central America, South America, and the Caribbean in 2015. That more than 500 new products will be added for sale and be made available to U.S. dealers items will include more end products than stores have typically sold. Blah, 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 blah. RadioShack will seek to establish an Amazon.com storefront. If you take something like Western Digital that makes hard drives, they have an Amazon storefront. It isn't just the small merchants. I just got a package from Go Hard Drive. They have an Amazon storefront. But when I ordered it, I think 2.5 days ago, and it arrived today by USPS, I was amazed. But then I knew that they ship very fast. But the point is, I went to Amazon to do the order, but they don't have Amazon stocking it, or they just ship it from, and then you get it faster than Amazon. Because I have another thing I ordered from Amazon. It'll be here on Wednesday. Today is Friday. I ordered on Wednesday night. Somebody's beating them to the punch. Okay, so if you don't understand, just go look at the RadioShack thing. What I was interested in looking at this, okay, the name of this website is Retail Wire. Okay, there's some kind of news about and maybe commentary on retail businesses. Generally speaking, brick and mortar. And somebody wrote this article. It's not very long. But over on the right-hand side, I see this brain trust. And there's a name, and they quote, and then another guy, and then a gal, and then when I scroll down, I'm seeing that there are fuller comments, and he had a fuller comment, but they've chosen him to headline him on the right panel, and this guy too, and her, and there are other people. But so then I thought, well, these people are known to the Retail Wire. You know how, like, when I find a bleeping computer article and it turns out it's an Israeli company, how I want to go and see who the big shots are and look them up. And well, that's what I had in mind for this, just for the fun of it, because it's a completely different field. Gary Sankari, Retail Industry Strategy, ESRI. Never heard of it. But he wrote a commentary on it about what's the likelihood this will work. The name is fairly unique. If it's Joe Smith, how are you going to find him? Let's see if the LinkedIn will open. Or if they'll just buffalo me. Yeah, they'll buffalo me. But here is ESRI. I'm going to trust it. This shows you how much depth there is in the world, all kinds of businesses, blah, blah, blah. And what's different than when I grew up, how easy it is to find out about them, or at least find out what they want to let you know about. He joined whatever ESRI is 2014, 9 years ago, subject matter expert in retail after spending 30 years in the retail. So he's retired, and this is his retirement job. Gary's retail career started in his parents' family business. I'm thinking of my uncle and my father, who worked in my grandfather's store. I understand that. That is for more than 40 years ago. Along the way, he had the opportunity to work with Cost Plus Imports, Merv, and Target Corporation. There's one I recognize, where he led a number of cross-functional teams developing technology and business process strategies to support store and digital merchandising. So he probably was a brain. Never heard of him before. I have no idea who ESRI is. ESRI, excuse me. Climate change. But let's see if we can find out who they are. About ESRI. Advancing the power of geography. We make the world's most powerful GIS software. Oh, I can see how they would have very wide interest to find new applications for specialized use of GIS. Just as like I used GIS back in the 90s, scouting weeds, for writing software program to do post-emergence herbicide application visibility, cost-benefit software. All right. Helping to solve the world's most complex problems. All right. Bingo. That's all right. Now let's keep looking. Let's take the next person that they headlined over here, just for the fun. While I doubt RadioShack will become a powerhouse brand like it used to be, there's always an opportunity for well-run stores. Wait a minute, what did this guy say? The competitive environment that caused RadioShack's demise. See, his background was finding the new techniques and technologies here to give me the competitive edge so we step on everybody else. Is even more acute than it was in the early 2000s when RadioShack went away, as mass merchants have expanded their electronic offerings. There's a lot of stories out there about malls that are empty. Oh, you mean Amazon takes care of all my purchasing? I just mentioned, I'm not promoting anything. So this guy's got a completely different point of view just from the sentence they picked out. Founder and co-author Headcount Corporation. Looks like a reasonably unique Polish name or Russian. Will they let me go to LinkedIn? Oh, okay. Alberta, Canada, Edmonton. Nothing of interest to be seen. My guess is he's retired also. Retail Wire. He's an author at Retail Wire. That's the website we're on. Headcount. What's this? That's what I want to know. What is headcount? Oh, they've got a wonderful website. Look at that. Why did that happen? Pardon me. Because when I called up the web page, there's something needed to do the rendering to make it look pretty that either is not available or my browser is being stopped from going there. Our mission is to help businesses turn visitor traffic data into meaningful insights and better results. There are many ways. Oh, so this guy is the co-founder, as the driving force behind. But let me just try to. This is the About page. So there are these different people. Now, wait a minute. The URL is headcount.com/about. So let's say there's a problem with the about page. This kind of means that even though there's a link to it, they're not paying attention to their website. Things are afoot. Let's just try to go to the home page. It says that they're on LinkedIn. Let's see if it rendered the home page better. Yes, it did. It brings up the standard legally required thing about cookies. And we can find out about him right from the front page. So this has superseded the about page. Mark Reisky. I grew up in a town where about 25% of the people, the folks I grew up with, were immigrants anywhere from 1890 to after the Second World War from Poland. That's why I know how to pronounce it. As the driving force behind Headcount, this website, and the leading industry voice for the use of brick-and-mortar store traffic and shopper conversion analytics, Mark's vision is clear: help brick-and-mortar retailers perform better. And we could put in parentheses say, and just manage to stay in business. You've seen my things about the steakhouse and how they're going to put another building in its place that has nothing to do with what used to be there as a business, and that several other businesses in the last 2 months have been built, and 3 months has been built and opened along the strip in town that were hot dog places, and sandwich places, not steakhouses. I'm making a contrast. Mark first founded Headcount in 1994 as a small sideline while finishing college. He was working as a marketing manager for a retailer and was trying to figure out if his advertising, now remember that was the beginning of the internet and the first hints of the web, but the web came, right? Working as they used FTP to go to sites to download data, not a web browser. He was working as a marketing manager for a retailer and trying to figure out if his advertising was working, and when he discovered the power of store traffic data, the rest is history. Okay. It's like me seeing what the backgrounds of all those Israelis are and being able to tell by looking at them in a group picture that these guys are Israelis, these guys are Americans, these guys are neither Israeli or Americans. I can tell by the expressions on their face. So let's go to the third one. I think this is interesting. So she says if they really want to revive their brand, this is the punchline from whatever she wrote, which was more extensive, they should consider partnerships to position themselves as the go-to place for gamers. I just came from Ramseur buying buy two, get three sodas. And on the way, there's a place where all the cars, it's Friday night, cars are parked around this small, they're in there playing at this consoles of gaming because they probably don't have computers powerful enough to be online gaming. And there are several places in Asheville. If they really want to revive their brand, they should consider partnerships to position themselves as the go-to place for gamers, tech heads, and young inventors. And that may have been the reason why Hackaday picked it up. So let's find out. Head of Retail Insights AAG Consulting Group. She has a semi-unique name, but there she is on LinkedIn. They don't want, all right. I think what it is that some people say Atlanta City metropolitan area, it's not cached. Hang on. Instagram. She's on YouTube. She's on YouTube. And she's at Retail Wire. So she's on Facebook and Crunchland. Okay, so she's known. Chief Strategy Officer. AAG Consulting Group. Innovative solutions that break through the status quo. AAG will bring experience and process to get your strategies. So they all have similar professions, but they come at it aimed at a different aspect of the retail market. And this is powered on a website called GoDaddy. You've heard of them. And so let's find out who the AAG group is, the team. Stewart is well known in the retail tech, notice the word tech, and MarTech, industries. I don't know what MarTech is. Marketing technology. I should have guessed. Headed up one of the more successful shopper engagement companies in the digital signage space. That reminds me of one that's on the side of a business downtown. That if you drive by, it's on the side of a building. It's fairly recent. It appeared about 2 months ago, and I'm thinking that it's a physical fitness building, and I'm thinking they let it be put there because they can get rent. You know how I had videos about how a church down here had one of those big highway retail things just because they get some of the money for having it being right on their property because people are driving by and it's convenient. And John Rubin, product-led growth strategies and tactics, business builder who's proven track record of taking businesses' ideas and moving them to the long-term growth, focusing on creating meaningful digital experience over 25 years as a consultant. Do you think he's Italian? Here's Deanne. Clark Brown, 30 years. These all right. Majority of these people have had a business career, and this is their retirement or close to retirement income stream. Putting to Jason Seed, Angela Gearhart. Now, and Henri Sarin, and he's in Dubai. And I like the name. Not Sarin, Sarin. You'll let us see his LinkedIn page. It's Middle Eastern. That's why I wanted to make that jump. Sales Director, Middle East and Africa. I spent 4 years in Israel. Dubai, United Arab Emirates. You know where that is, don't you? I am a very experienced international business and operational management professional. I'm currently working in the world's leading LED aviation obstruction light manufacturer as a sales director. So this other stuff is his side income stream. LEDs, like when I showed you the videos where they were doing the new stop signs at the crossroads, and they came out with the mobile LED signs to warn you that there's a new stop on this road because before it used to be a through. World's leading LED aviation obstruction light manufacturer. And then he talks about the other ones. He's got 2 master's, MS degrees in prestigious universities. He's got a good work ethic. I built my career primarily on management and executive positions. I'm interested in people's backgrounds. After 13 years of working in communications and collaboration, I have successfully transferred to the electronic and LED industry. Now, think about that. LEDs per se are an industry. LED manufacturer in Raleigh, North Carolina. There it is. Industry leader, early innovator in LEDs of all kinds, Cree. Cree LED. Cree LED. How did I know that? Because I kind of noticed them. Cree LED opens new headquarters in Research Triangle Park. When I first, all right, it doesn't want to. So they're moving up in the world. They're still successful. Announces their move to a new headquarters at Park Point Campus, Research Triangle Park. The new location will focus on research and development and provide an environment for collaboration. And we got the universities with their engineering, mathematics, and chemistry people, and innovative capabilities, allowing the company to maintain its leadership in a variety of cutting-edge LED products. The new facility total footprint will be over 85,000 square feet. Now, it's wandering. So this guy shifted to what he saw, a new opportunity, a particular kind, and his is apparently in and in my free time, I like outdooring, such as cross-country skiing in Dubai. In 2016, I received official crisis management veteran status after serving on a peacekeeping mission in Kosovo, Herzegovina, between 2003 and 2004. So he is European and possibly French. Let's go all the way back, if we can, to his Finland. Oh, maybe he's Finnish. Finland. Export assistant. Finland. I got it wrong. Not France. Oh, there it is. There, I can't say it, but it's Lapland. There you go. These are Finland. Frenchtown High School. Oh, this is great. I was a foreign exchange student at Frenchtown High School. You know, I have hitchhiked through more than 20 countries. I spent 4 years in Israel. I've worked in Mexico. I've had international housemates, roommates, dorm mates from like 8 countries. I identify with this. I was a foreign exchange student at Frenchtown High School in Montana in the United States. And it helped improve his English skills. Now, I want to nail down that. So this is where he got his bachelor's degree. Let's see, is that going to be in Finland? Yes, it's in Finland. So we got it nailed down. What a contrast. He's from Finland and he's stationed in Dubai. I'm not making fun of it. I'm having fun. All right? This is the guy. He's Finnish. And that's the basis of his name. Got it. So, the Radio Shack, the potential of Radio Shack retail locations or whatever being revived by a Central American big money operation, whatever, who retailers down to Central and South America who still, quote, have faith in what Radio Shack can still be. And I jumped on it. Why? Because as a teenager ham radio operator, several times I visited the original Commonwealth when they went national, as opposed to being just a Boston downtown business in one of the old parts of the city. Wait a minute, can we still get... I want to jump to that. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. See, they have a website. Where did I get that? Here, hang on. One last thing. So they show a store here like you could see right down there in Siler City. Looks exactly like that. But they said that they, going back to the history, last thing, the brothers, 1921, they're ham radio operators at 46 Brattle Street, and they're showing a picture. This is what Brattle Street looked in 1885. Now, look at the row buildings. There's apartments upstairs, 3 floors over. The retail business is on the street level. Take a look at the narrowness of the street at a time when you had horse and oxen drawn carriages and wagons from colonial times. What am I saying? I'm saying the street will have been laid out in colonial times. Brattle Street, which existed from 1694, first time I'm reading it, until 1962, was a street in Boston located at the current site of City Hall Plaza at Government Center. And I'm wondering, yes, now watch. Google Maps, satellite view, there's old downtown Boston on the harbor. The place we're talking about is right here. I don't know why they do that. Can I kill that so that you can see what I want to show you? Here's the government center. Now, why do they do that? Here's the Paul Revere House. Here's Faneuil Hall. Now, don't look at the skyscrapers. Look at how it's not that big downtown. Let's pick a street. Let's pick Irving Street. how wide is that street? Why is it one way? It's as wide as it was in 1776. And that's what all of old downtown Boston is like, except where they come in and they knock out the whole neighborhood and they build a big city hall plaza. So what we're saying is the original Radio Shack, this is what I was trying to say. The original Radio Shack store, they're not being very cooperative today, are they? They won't let me go forward. They won't let me. So now we're on an adjacent street. This is in downtown old Boston. You notice the fire escapes? Why do you have to have fire escapes? Because people live up there. If they can't get out the Main Street entrance, that's how they get down. It's a requirement. It has to be multiple escape routes. These buildings are old. Look at how narrow that street is. The street layout dates from before 1776 in downtown Boston. So in a way, if you think of Radio Shack went under because it offered and was structured in a way that was like the street layout here, and short of just demolishing everything and getting rid of the actual original street layout, is there any way that they can come back in a modern City Hall Plaza? I'm making a comparison. I'm smiling because I'm thinking of all the times over the years I've been in Boston, and I just driving in my own car and loving this, just loving the streets. And, yeah. Anyway, so you see, nothing about /.org today. Just having fun. Steve A. before y'all. A little bit of reminiscing, mind wandering, brainstorming. There's yet another tier of people that we don't hear about. We hear about the Bezos. We hear about the politicians. Yes, there are workers that work at the cashiers, but there's another layer out there, just like I find Israeli companies and these people that are specialists in cybersecurity for retail chains, cybersecurity for hospital infrastructure, not retail and hospital, separate industries, separate specializations, not related to each other, completely different code bases, completely different kinds of threats. And so this one was in the same kind of way to think about something that is nostalgic for me. Will Radio Shack make a comeback? Steve A. before y'all, just having fun, saying see you in 73.